In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your own video sharing site. Now, this isn't going to be like YouTube. YouTube is a general video sharing site, and what we're going to do is create niche-specific video sites. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get things installed. So we're going to use WordPress to power this. So you need to install WordPress first of all. So go to wordpress.org. Okay, and then you can download the most recent version here and install it. I've included a separate video that shows you how to install WordPress using these files. Now, if you have Fantastico Deluxe, you can install this using the cPanel. This is what I'm going to show you in this video because it's the easiest way to do it. If you don't have Fantastico, you'll have to use the manual method here, and it's not that difficult, and I've included a separate video for that. And now I'm going to go install WordPress using Fantastico. Okay, so this is a typical cPanel here. So what we're going to do is go down to Fantastico Deluxe. Okay, and then over here on the left, we click on WordPress. And then what we'll do is we'll create new installation. Okay, and then in here you pick through the list for your domain name you're going to use. Now, of course, if you only have one domain name in there, then you would just use the one that comes up. Okay, so the next we would put in a directory if we're going to install in a directory. Okay, so prior to this, you should already have a domain name that you're going to use. Now, since we're targeting niche-specific sites, you should get a niche-specific domain name. So, for instance, if we're going to target puppy training, then we should have a domain name that has puppy training in it or has something to do with puppy training. I'm not going to go too much into selecting domain name and setting up hosting, but you need to do those two things. And all you have to do is go to register like GoDaddy, look for a domain name and register it, and then you can go to a hosting provider such as HostGator and set that all up. If you use HostGator, then you will have Fantastico Deluxe like we have here. Okay, for this demo, I'm putting on a pre-existing general domain for this video series, but what you want to do is have it in the root of the domain you've just created. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to put it in here. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in a directory called dog videos. Okay, then down here you have to give the admin access. So this is the username and the password, an admin nickname, and then down here an email and a site name. So go ahead and fill all that out. Okay, so I called my site All About Dogs, then I have all about informative and funny dog videos. Okay, so I'll click Install WordPress, and then Finish. Okay, and there it is. So if we click on this link, it takes us to the control panel, and then from here we can sign in. Okay, and we now have WordPress installed. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to install the plugin that actually powers the videos. And the plugin is called TubePress. So let's go to plugins here. And then what we're going to do is add new. And then we'll go to the search and we'll type in TubePress. And now we'll install it. So install now. And we'll activate. Okay, you may have been interrupted there to provide the FTP information it's asking for. This is the same as a sign in to your domain name. So the host is going to be your domain name, and then the username and password is going to be the username and password to your hosting account. You can also set up a separate one in your cPanel under FTP. You can set up a new user ID and password and use that. Now we're going to be getting into how to set up TubePress later. In the meantime, what we're going to do is continue with some other plugins that we're going to need. Okay, so we'll go to Add New again, and then we're going to go to Popular, and we're going to download a few more. Okay, so let's download the All-in-One SEO pack. Okay, and you need to do some setup here as well, but we're not going to do that yet. And then we're going to go to the Google Sitemap Creator, Google XML Sitemaps. We're going to install that. Okay, now we have most of the plugins we need at this point. What we're going to do now is we're going to go find a theme that fits our site. Okay, so our site's about dogs. We want to try and find an appropriate theme. So you can look through the themes that are in here. So we can go to Install Theme. Then you can look through the search here and see if you can find one this way. If not, you can do a Google search and find one that you like. Okay, so let's just put dog in here. See what we get. Okay, not very much. Okay, so we're not having any luck this way. So what we'd have to do is go to Google and we'll put in WordPress dog theme. Okay, and then we can go through the search results and find one that we like. So it might require some searching to find out what theme you want to use. Remember, we are doing niche-specific video sites here. Okay, so I found another one here. This is the one I've decided I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll show you how to install a theme this way. We're going to go to Download. Then we need to download it somewhere on our computer, so just go ahead and do that. Okay, then you need to go back to your WordPress install, and then you need to go to Install Themes, and then we're going to upload, and then we find where we downloaded that file on our computer, so just browse for it here. Okay, so Dog Planet. Okay, we'll install. Okay, let's preview. There it is. Okay, so it looks all good. Close this up. And let's activate. Okay, we're going to be doing more with the appearance using widgets, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay, now let's go through a few more setup steps here. Let's go into Settings. And then this is where you can change the site title and the tagline if you didn't like what you had there before. And then down here, you can decide whether you want people to be able to register or not. You don't have to if you don't want to. Set your time code here to your location so that it keeps the proper time. Okay, save the settings. Okay, the next thing we want to do is go to Discussion. And here you can decide whether you want people to be able to comment. I suggest that you do let people comment, but if you don't want them to, you can disable it here. Now, where it says attempt to notify any blogs linked from this article, uncheck that, slows things down, and allow link notifications, uncheck that. And then here's where you either allow people to post a comment or not. Okay, so if you're going to allow them, keep it checked. And then down here, you can check the ones you want so that it behaves the way you want it to behave. Okay, so down here, you can hold them for moderation. So it says an administrator must always approve the comment. If you click on that, no comments are going to get onto your site unless you approve them. Okay, so you can do what you want with comment there. I'm actually not going to allow comments on this one. Down here you have some blacklists, so you can either blacklist it or you can hold a comment for moderation depending on words or phrases. And you can control avatars down here. Okay, let's click Save Changes. Next, go to Privacy. Make sure that your site is visible to everyone, including the search engines. If not, you need to change that there. Next, go to Permalinks. Okay, and then here, we want to go to Custom Structure. And then in this space here, we want to put that string. So it's /% category // postname /. Okay, I've put that in the documentation for you. You can just copy it out of there. And then let's save the changes. Now sometimes it'll give you a box here and it'll say that it can't write to the htaccess file. So you need to do it manually. What you can do in that case is make your htaccess writable. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is our dog videos folder here. And then inside here you see there's the .htaccess file. If you right click on that and you go to File Attributes, you see it is 644. You can change this to 666 temporarily, and then you can update the htaccess file just by going back in here and clicking Update again. And then it'll update it, and then you can go back in and set it back to 644 again. Now, since I am installing this in a folder rather than in the root folder, it was able to actually create the .htaccess for me. That's why I didn't get the error. However, if you do get the error, you need to go and find the htaccess it's trying to fix, and then you just do what I said, just change the permissions. Okay, let's go to All-in-One SEO. This just gives us a little bit of search engine optimization that we can set up. So let's enable it. And then the home title page, you can put in here, put in some description and some meta tags. Okay, and that's really all you need to change down here. And then you can just update the options. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is go over to Posts. We're going to trash the example post, and we're going to go to Pages. We're going to trash the example pages. Okay, let's go back to Posts again and go to Categories. Now in here we can set up some categories we know that we're going to use. So you can go ahead and set these up now, and we can also set them up later. But let's just get a head start here. Let's just go dog training, videos. Okay, and then we'll have let's see, funny dog videos. Okay, let's go. Cute puppy videos. Okay, and then so on. Now we can also set these up later. So we'll just leave it like that. Now one more thing. If you are allowing comments, go back to plugins. And this plugin Akismet you need to activate. It'll get rid of pretty much all the spam. Now you need to enter an API key for Akismet. So you click on that. And then you need to enter the API key here. Now, if you don't have one, you can go to wordpress.com, set up an account, and get your API key from there. Okay, so at this point, we're all set up. In the next video, we're going to start setting up TubePress.